So you just got yourself one of these and you're getting into fingerboarding or tech decking, but you don't really know how to use it, and you look a little bit like this. But don't worry, today I'm going to show you the basics of fingerboarding and how to get started. So let's clear off the desk and let's get right into it. Now, when people get into fingerboarding or tech decking for the first time, they're not quite sure how to get the board off the ground, or in this case off the table, without using their thumb. I see a lot of beginners like just use their thumb to do tricks like that. That's what my wife does when she attempts to fingerboard. I just see them do something like this, and they're basically grabbing the board with their thumb, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of this, because you don't really do that when you normally skateboard. That's not how you ollie. So let's first talk about how to make this thing get off of the table and how to ollie on a tech deck. Now, if you're into real skateboarding and you know how to ollie, you know that ollieing works like this. You pop your tail, that puts the board off the ground, and you slide your front foot forward, that levels it out, and then you land. That's how an ollie in real life works on like a normal size skateboard. But for fingerboarding and tech decking, it's a little bit different. You see, when you first start doing it on a tech deck, you kind of want to roll backwards first to figure out how to get the board off the ground. And I'll kind of explain what that means. So you would think, just like on a normal skateboard, you roll forward, you pop, and the board comes off the ground. But when you're fingerboarding, it's actually a kind of a backwards motion that helps get the board off of the ground, especially when you're getting started. So if I were to slow this down right now, if I'm rolling forward, what you do is you shoot the board backwards really quick, and that's what gets it off the ground, and then you use that momentum while it's kind of almost upside down to make it ollie. So essentially what you're doing is you're throwing the board back into your fingers like this, and then using the weight of it to bring it around, and it looks like you're ollieing because it happens so fast. Now, I'm not saying when you pop it you should go all the way around upside down, but what essentially happens is you catch it about here, and then your front fingers kind of grab the nose of the fingerboard, and it drags it forward, and that is kind of how you ollie on a tech deck or a fingerboard. And when you look at it in slow motion, you can really see that right before I pop, I throw the board backwards, and that is what gives me the momentum to catch it and then throw it forward. So to get started learning how to do this, I would just flick it back into your fingers and then throw it around and do a really slow motion ollie. And that's gonna look something like this. So I'm gonna take it, pop it into my fingers, and then bring it around. And that's an ollie in very slow motion. And then once you practice doing it slowly, you can then go on to do a real ollie and try it in fast motion. And once you learn how to ollie, just like in normal skateboarding, the whole world of tricks opens up to you, and then you can start doing anything you want. So for example, I can grab an obstacle, and now that you know how to ollie, you can start doing tricks. So instead of just ollieing, you can ollie into a 50-50. And now you can learn all the grind tricks, because once you learn how to ollie, you're in the air, then you can start manipulating the board in the air and figuring out how to do those different tricks. Again, one more time, the key to this is to just figure out how to roll forward. And at the last second, you're gonna flip the board backwards kind of into your fingers and bring it around. And that's kind of an over exaggeration. You're never really gonna be upside down like that, but that is how you get started into fingerboarding or tech decking. And then from there, like I said, you can grab obstacles, you can grab ramps, you can grab rails, ledges, anything you like. And then you can really get into the weeds and start learning all these different tricks. So I'm gonna use this ledge right here to show you a couple of examples of some different tricks you can learn first after you learn how to ollie with the fingerboard or the tech deck. So here's some examples. All right, so we're gonna start with some 50-50. So here's your front side 50-50. And you can do a backside 50-50 coming from the backside. And then you can throw in 5-0. So here's the front side 5-0. And then backside 5-0. And then after some grinds, you can throw in some slides. So here's a front board. And then a backboard slide. And then you can throw in a front tail slide. One of my favorite tricks on a tech deck, really like that. And then you've got your Smith grinds, which also are some of my favorites. So you can do a front Smith. And then back Smith, which is a little more difficult. And then yeah, you can see once you've mastered how to ollie, you can pretty much do any other grind or slide trick you want. And then from there, you can start working on flip tricks and other things like that and get more advanced in your fingerboarding or your tech decking.